Jackie. I grew up believing I was a Christian, and my whole life seemed to be based on doing good, helping people, doing things that seemed right, but I had no real relationship with God, and I didn't realise this until I started to have children and I began to do work in old people's homes, and I started to see that what I believed was no different to anybody else. We all tried to do things that were good, but basically they were selfish, just trying to make ourselves feel better. I eventually got invited to a Billy Graham crusade, and I heard the gospel preached for the first time, and I there encountered God and realised I needed a relationship with him. I didn't realise until that point that my life really and truthfully had been a disaster, and so much had gone wrong, and I was hurting and broken. And I met Jesus at this crusade, and I suddenly realised that my sins needed to be forgiven. The stuff that I'd done wrong in my life, even trying to be good enough for God, was all stuff that wasn't pleasing to him. That day I surrendered fully to Jesus, and I realised that once I'd met with him and he'd forgiven my sins, that I could be filled with new life, and that I could walk in truth and in liberty that I'd never known before. And that day everything changed. I felt full of life. My life had a purpose, and I just realised that until that point I hadn't been complete, and now I felt fulfilled, and I realised that God had a plan and a purpose for my life.